All right, Michael Blackson, how's it going?
What's up, mother sucker?
Man, just out here, what I'm saying? Glad to have you on my show.
Man, it's good to be on your show, man. What's on your mind, man? What you want to know? What you want to talk about, man? What's going on?
Well, I thought we'd get into maybe the biggest news in entertainment right now, and that's the whole Kanye situation. And I'm saying he's been making a lot of headlines and going crazy. What was your take on all that?
Oh, man, I think I pay too much attention to Kanye, man. Kanye is getting too much power. We act like this guy's like the president or somebody that we all look up to and we taking advice and we listen to him. I don't take advice from Kanye. I think Kanye really sits at home, goes to his toilet while he's sitting on the toilet. He said, who am I going to shit on today? Or what stupid shit am I going to say to make this whole world, to get this whole world attention? I don't take Kanye serious, man. I don't know much about that whole Jewish stuff. I have no idea what that's all about. But I know one thing: you don't fuck with the Jews. The Jews run the whole world. They run everything, And you fuck with the Jews, you're gonna end up apologizing. You're gonna have to apologize if you want to work, because it took over everything. Everybody apologized that ever said something wrong about the Jews, So stop taking Kanye serious. You're just a crazy mother sucker that made it. All right? That's all he is, a crazy mother sucker that made it. Love him to death, and I'm about. You saw his new t-shirt?
Yeah.
Mexican Life Matter, you saw that?
Oh no, I haven't seen that
you
one.
Saw,
I seen the first one.
I'm just lying. He didn't see. You thought it was real too. Hell no, he didn't see. He said anything. We believe him, man. Forget that nigga, okay?
Do you think people take celebrities in general?
They do.
Too much?
They do take us. At the end of the day, we're supposed to be role models, and they look up to us. But when somebody has done crazy things so many times, you gotta let this motherfucker go. You know what I'm saying?
It seems like every so often.
Every so often, he like, okay, let me see. Okay, my wife is leaving me for some white kid with blonde hair. He's gonna be stepfather to my children. Okay, let me get some attention. Every time something goes wrong in his life, he just do some outbursts. He do some crazy shit to make us pay attention to him, man. But like I said, he's a role model to a lot of people. Unfortunately, he is a role model to a lot of people. So people look up to him, and they look up to celebrities a lot. Like, I mean, when I post, a lot of time my posts are jokes, but when I get serious, my fans knows and they pay attention. So we do got to be aware of what we say, because it's millions of people out there, adults and kids, that look up to us and want to be like us. So we have to watch what we say. But if motherfucker if motherfucker smoke crack 3 times, nigga, he's a crackhead. Don't listen to him. I ain't say Kanye smoke crack. I'm just saying, you know what I mean. Kanye has had some crazy outbursts in the past 10 years, at least 4 or 5 of them mother suckers. I think it's enough to just be like, Kanye, we ain't paying no mind. We love you. White lives matter. Okay, Kanye, it's okay. But your kids are half black and half, I guess, white or Middle Eastern, whatever they are. So you want to do how white lives matter? Tell us why. If that's the reason why, okay. Man, at the end of the day, every life matter. We know that. The whole Black Lives Matter movement was more like because of what was going on with us. It was the whole George Floyd thing, and I think it was even before George Floyd. George Floyd just brought it more to life.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Kanye, or the media allows Kanye to kind of like change what the actual focus point of the Black Lives Matter was.
Yeah, they're loving the idea about what Kanye said about George Floyd dying from drugs instead of they're loving that. They just like to see black man put another black man down, man. So I mean, that's why I said we can't pay attention to Kanye. Kanye does not represent. I don't think he represents the black culture completely. So we love him. He's like our guy, but like, we ain't. It's like Katt Williams getting beat up by a kid or whatever. I'm like, Katt, we're not paying Katt no mind. He getting beat up by little 8th graders. After a while, you gotta be like, I'm not paying attention to certain things.
How about the whole cancel culture thing? You know what I'm saying? Like they actually pulled one of the interview down off of Drink Champs?
Yeah. We are losing, freedom of speech, And one thing I don't blame Kanye for is trying to open up his own social media where everybody can say and do whatever they want. I thought that's what America was all about. Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, man.
It's taking it away slowly, man.
Even if it's speech you don't want to hear or
you
don't
turn
think
the
is
channel.
Right,
I never, even with Instagram, I don't understand Instagram how, you post something, somebody reports it, they take it down. I'm like, why is that guy following me if you don't like what I'm posting? If you report my shit, block him from ever watching my shit. If Instagram don't have a problem with it, and somebody else does, I don't know why you have a problem with it. Why are you giving us social media if you won't let us be free and do what we want? Make it for adults if that's the case. Let it be for adults. Children should not come on there if you think we adults. We like to talk about adult things. That's what we talk about. That's what social media is about. Expressing your feeling, or posting whatever you want to post. If I post something and somebody don't like it, they report it. You take it down for this one person. Who's this one hater that's going around just reporting everything you do? And it's be like that sometimes. If you have like a few haters that would just purposely report your shit, hoping your page get taken down. My thing is, that person don't like my page, don't let him see my page. I think if you ever report somebody's page, you should be automatically blocked from watching them. Because obviously you have a problem with what they're posting.
That's a good point.
Cancel culture, like I said, freedom of speech, all that stuff is going away. But I go on stage and I still talk my shit. I'm not letting nobody, The thing about it, we're in a whole different kind of era now where, like I said, social media is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing in the form that we have our own platform. I have my millions of followers that believe in me. So if Hollywood wants to cancel me, okay, I got 5 million people. If I put out a movie, they'll go watch it. And we have streaming networks that has nothing to do with Hollywood anymore. Like all these streaming networks looking for content. So if I want to promote my own shit, it's not like back in the 90s and early 2000 when you needed Hollywood or you needed that record company. Now you have your fans that believe in you that will go and buy your shit. So don't let that shit. Don't be controlled. Don't feel like you've been controlled, man. Take over your own career, your own life, and do your own thing.
Yeah, be your own boss, man.
Be your own boss, bro.
I think a lot of the older dudes didn't really catch on to social media, and they kind of, when all the new guys started using social media, they were kind of like left behind, and you know what I'm saying? They kind of didn't, even like with rappers.
Yeah, a lot of them left behind. Trust me, there's a lot of comedians that, that were superstars when I was, and those guys didn't get up on social media, and now they're trying to catch up. It's too late. It's too late. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, unfortunately, you just gotta keep up with what's going on. As an entertainer, period, you gotta find a way to stay relevant. You gotta keep up with what's going on around you. You gotta keep what's going on in the world, and that's one thing I've always done. I kept up with what's going on. You gotta keep yourself relevant if you want to keep going in life. Period.
You mentioned Katt Williams a little bit earlier, man. I seen that he was kind of upset about some things you said on Drink Champs. Can you kind of go into your guys' friendship and everything, or how all that happened?
You know what? I'm not gonna say me and Katt been like best friends or we're friends, but we're more like always been like associates. Like the thing with comedy, we all one big family, because we all know the struggles we all went through. And whenever we see each other, it's like a bunch of brothers hanging out. And we all have respect for each other. Because we know, I respect Katt a lot. I know where he came from, from Comic View. Cat in the Hat was his name. And then, of course, got in the movie Friday After Next, and then, boom, took that scene and rode it to the top and became a millionaire, successful guy from it. So I respect that, and I always loved him, and I know he feels the same about me. A kid came from a whole different continent, coming here to America and making it, taking that mother sucker thing and taking it to the whole next level. So we have an ultimate respect for each other and love. brotherly comedic love. There's not much hate in comedy. If it is, it's just been more like in the last 5-6 years. But prior to then, man, we saw each other with like, when we see each other, we start thinking about each other's jokes and we start laughing right away because we knew, you know, what we talked about. And of course, you know, Katt went through a few things in the last few years, you know, with his, you know, his career like being top, and then we don't know what happened, and then, you know, he kind of like went down, and then, you know, he fought his way back up. And that's the type of person Katt is. Like, and like what I was saying on Trim Champ was talking about comedians, and I was saying, to survive in comedy, you have to be lovable. Motherfuckers have to love you. You know, the guy, and Katt, I said, Katt is one of the most lovable comedians in the world. And what I meant to say on the interview was, I meant to say, I don't give a fuck how much crack y'all think that nigga smoke. He's the most lovable. But instead I said, I don't care how much crack he smoked. And I've never seen Katt smoke no goddamn crack. You know, but I was hoping he wasn't going to take it personal, because even Noriega hit me up after that whole thing came out about me mentioning Katt, and he didn't even remember. Like, he said, when did this happen? Because I mentioned I was on Drink Champ and I'm this interview, and he hit me up like, he DM'd me like, hey Mike, what did you say on there that I missed? That's how much that's how much of a love I was. That's how you know I wasn't even insulting this guy. It was more giving him his props. You know what I mean? And that's how he didn't remember that, because he would have, if he thought I was an insult, Noriega would have been like, can you elaborate on what you said about that? But nobody on set noted it as an insult. I thought it was a compliment. I didn't even know there was a problem after it aired, and I got a call from a mutual friend that's friends with him and friends with me, and it's like, hey, Katt's mad at you. I'm like, huh, what'd I do? I didn't even know what I did. He said, you said he was a crackhead? I'm like, what did I say he's a crackhead? I said, let me look at, what did I say he's a crackhead? I'm like, oh, maybe I said something similar to that. And I didn't even pay no attention to it. I didn't even go back to watch an interview. One thing I don't do, Mike, I don't watch my own interviews. This shit here, I'm not gonna watch it. I don't watch my own shit for some reason, right? So, you know, when I brought it, and mind you, I noticed, I knew he had a problem then because he was leaving kind of like subliminal messages under my post, you know, and creating tension. So I remember one time I posted, it was Martin Luther King holiday, and you know me, I'm all about joke. I joke on everybody. I joke on the Lord, God forgive me. I joke on the president. I joke on, everybody get it. And I remember I said a joke about, you know, because somebody told me, I had no idea that at one point Martin Luther King like had a little white side chick or something. Or he slept with a white girl. Something happened with a white girl. And I'm like, damn, Martin King, that's how you do it. The best way to fuck with a white man is to fuck a white woman. Something like that, right? Because I go hard in the paint. And when I said that, Katt made a comment on my post saying, what do you call me? What's the fucking word I'm looking for? Coon. He said coon, right? Coon word, whatever, me, I'm coony, whatever. What I did, but then before I could even delete that, because I didn't want people to think that me and him was beefing. You know what I mean? Because that's how much love I have for this guy. I'm like, I'm not gonna create into nothing out of this, right? I was like, right before I deleted it, it's already got screenshot. And then I think it got screenshot by, I think, DL Hughley. And then he posted it, and, you know, posted my message and posted Katt's coon word. And then, that's what DL does. He posts something like, what do y'all think, right? And then it become like a freaking viral, and it's virals, and it started to go around, right? Right before it, because you know, in black people, black people feel like you do something wrong. They're ready to get at your head. But right before they were about to get in my head about me making this comment about the great king, my best friend dies. So as soon as my best friend, Chinese best friend, I don't know if you're familiar with this guy. He was like my co-host on my podcast. He was my best friend. I met him like 4 or 5 years ago, became best friend instantly. Passed from COVID. And since he died, that whole thing died down with it. Just like, you know what, everything went, it just went away. Like, you know, they're not about to, so I was grieving on the social media, you know, I'm posting him, that shit didn't go, no, it just died with it, right? And then, and I thought the beef died with it too. Till I got called to do Wildin' Out. Went on set of Wildin' Out. Did 3 episodes. The last episode, Katt Williams making an appearance, and we're on 2 different teams, right? But still, I'm like, people don't really know. I try to kill this beef because I'm like, at the end of the day, at one point I was beefing with Kev and then I beefing with FaZe. I'm like, I don't look like no beefing comedian. There's too much money I had to be made. We love each other so much. I'm like, I'm not about to introduce this Katt beef. So I'm just keeping everything neutral and keeping everything simple. But all Katt's joke towards me was like career jokes, Like, I remember one of the jokes was
more personal jokes.
Personal, very personal on my career. I mean, don't get it wrong. He's accomplished a lot, and we worked together on a couple of movies together. We worked on 2 movies together. One was called Repo with Master P. Me and Katt just took that movie to a whole different level. And then we worked together again with Mike Epps and Meet the Blacks 2, The House Next Door. So we always had a good chemistry, comedically roasting chemistry. You know what I mean? But this time on Wildin' Out, it wasn't fun, because he was more like personal. I'm just trying to keep it cool. Like I'm trying to keep it general. His joke is on my career. My joke is on like his height, and just the normal midget jokes. So it was like that through the whole time, and I'm like, this guy's still mad about that. And mind you, everybody just died in the past few years. Everybody's, I'm like, you know what? I went back in my trailer after it was done, and still nobody noticed it. Nobody on the set noticed that it was really beefing. They just thought Cal was just being, a jerk, or or just going too hard, or going around, not keeping it fun. I'm not sure what they were thinking, but Katt got so much respect for Katt.
Has this episode came out yet?
Nah, this hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
So we went back in the dressing room, I'm like, this dude. I'm like, we like late 40s, we ain't young no more. Everybody's been passing away so bad. I'm like, I'm not gonna let this little crackhead joke come between somebody that I have respect for and I love like a brother. So I'm like, let me go knock this guy's dressing room. Nobody knows about this. This is exclusive information. I was like, let me go to his his dressing room was right next to mine. So he had a little, his guy at the door. So I said, hey, go in there and tell Katt I want to talk to him. He came back like, Katt, I don't want to talk to you. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna take it to my best friend, social media. So I went on social media and I explained the whole thing. Talking about how life is short. No need to beef for people that you love, that you care about. I don't need nothing from him. Believe it or not, in fact, I've put $200,000 in Katt's pocket. Believe it or not. I remember around the time when his career is up, and then I remember one point where I don't know what happened, but for some reason he was having bad sets across the country. And I knew this promoter in Cincinnati that went to book him. I was like, okay, good. So I contacted Katt. I said, hey, Katt, this guy want to do a show, man. I think this would be a good way to make a comeback. Let's make it happen, man. I got him to pay you $100,000 a shows, 2 shows, 2 different cities, whatever. He's okay, and I went on that show. I actually featured on the show, Like I went on right before him, and it wasn't a great show, and it was in his hometown. He remembered that show, and then so I'm saying that like I've put money, I don't need nothing from him. Nobody need anything from each other, But I just not recalling damn, I put money in this guy's pocket before, So it's it's all love, and. When I went to social media and, let people know everything, and I think there's a part where I posted that, Katt, life is short, no need to be for people you love like your brother. And then I guess he screenshot it and posted it in his story. So when he did that, I'm like, okay, that's probably his way of saying, you know, Mike, it's all good.
Okay. So hopefully you guys are, you know what I'm saying?
I
through
love
it.
Katt, man. I love Katt like a brother.
Do you think people take jokes a little too serious nowadays?
Me as far as the audience, or we mean?
Like
People?
People just
Oh
in
yeah,
general.
everybody. People are sensitive. Gosh, we in a terrible world, man. I want to go back to the '90s, man, early 2000s.
You can get away with damn near
Oh
saying
my
anything.
God, it's so. And the thing about it, everything so sensitive is growing into our little children who are growing into the college. I don't even like performing colleges anymore. I mean, when I first
they're
started, I
extra
made my
sensitive.
money in college, like college shows. College shows pay good money. But like my material, it's just because they have been raised so terribly to take everything to be sensitive. They can't believe you're saying this compared to like 1998 and 2003 when they loved their crazy things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I know I've turned down plenty of college money and they pay good. I'm like I'm gonna save myself the embarrassment.
Wow. Okay. Do you make people, you know, leave their phones and people can't?
No,
You kind of have to.
I know.
now, right?
No, I know. Like, no. My thing, I try to have as much control. I try to have my security at the venue controls. At the end of this, somebody gonna catch something. Even at the shows where they lock up your phone, there's always somebody that's slick enough to get a phone in there. You know, so if, you know, I mean, you locking it to protect your material. I understand that, but reason why I don't even do that. I think my audience. People come out, people have emergencies, they have kids out there, you know, they have sick mother. I can't have people locking their phone up just to protect. I can't put people's life at risk to protect my material.
Okay.
You know, no disrespect to like, you know, the guys that do it, because they mostly do it because they don't want this shit to come out because they're about to put out a special, you know, and I understand that, but it just sounds like a lot of work. And it's not that expensive. I think it's like 75 cents for each one they lock in. That's what it costs the venue or costs the comedian. You know, so if they're doing 75 cents or $1, so if they're doing like a 10,000 seat theater, it's costing them $10,000. That's not that bad to protect your material. But it just, to me, I just think about, damn, if my mom was here, if my mom is sick, how, you know, if she calls me, how can I leave, you know? One person's emergency is worth more than my material.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the whole Friday thing, doing, you know, with Katt Williams, doing movies with him and everything, man. You know, how did you get into, you know what I'm saying, how'd you get that role, man? This iconic role.
Crazy, man. So, you know, the last time I clocked in, last time I had a job, I worked for the airlines. And a lot of comedians did this back in the day because when you work for the airline, the biggest benefit is you get to fly for free. You get to fly anywhere you want to for free. But it's on a standby base, right? If the seat's there, you get on. And, you know, a lot of time when you're a new comedian and the promoters don't know you, nobody's gonna fly you out. You know, so you'll call a promoter, be like, hey man, you know, get me on the show. They'll be like, we ain't flying you out. I'm like, okay, I'll fly myself out. Just, you know, give me my little $200-$300. You know what I'm saying? And and that's what happened. So I had that job purposely because I get to fly for free. My wife, kids, mother, the whole family does. So I could think of like 5 comedians that had those jobs. So, you know, so what I used to do on my day off when I first started with a job, I worked part-time, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. I was off Tuesday and Wednesday. So every Monday, maybe every other Monday, or at least once a month, when I get off work Monday, I'll take a flight to LA. I was in Philadelphia at this time. Took a flight to LA and just hang out the comedy spots. You know, Monday night they had this thing called More Better Mondays, and it's still going on to today actually. Where this is 1999, right? It's 1999. So they have More Better Mondays, which is like a big urban night of comedy, and then Tuesday night was called More Better Mondays was at the Improv, and they had Fat Tuesdays at the Comedy Store on Sunset. So Monday was hosted by D-Ray, Tuesday was hosted by Guy Torrey. So I remember I came down one week, you know, and I hit up the guys, hey guys, I'm in town, you know, can I get some time on stage? So I remember doing Monday and I went and did Tuesday. So when I did Tuesday night at the Comedy Store, it just happened to be the same night that Ice Cube came for the first time to watch Mike Epps. You know, and then I happened to be on the show and I did my thing that night. And then Next thing I heard is like Guy Tori hit me up like, hey, there's something going on. They want you to. They're doing this movie and they want you to audition. This, I said, okay, let me see the script. They send me not the script. They send me my lines. And just one scene. They send the lines, and I saw on the title of it is like next Friday. I didn't know what that meant because Friday at this time was about 5 years old. I didn't know that it was a sequel to Friday. I just thought it was something, till the lady later called me and explained to me. She said, oh yeah, Ice Cube was there and they're doing a sequel to Friday called Next Friday. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So they said, we set up an audition for like a week later. So I'm going back home. In fact, when I got that, it's so crazy, when I had got that message, I was actually on set hanging out, watching Will Smith shoot Wild Wild West. Because my good friend Charlie Mack is a very was like Will Smith's right-hand man. And then, so we went on set to watch Will Smith shoot the movie Wild Wild West. I remember that's when I got that message about the next Friday thing. So I go home back to Philly. Crazy thing about it, while I was in Philly, one of the places we performed a lot back in the day was from Philly we go to New York. New York has like 5 different spots you can perform almost every day of the week. Urban spots, little $100 spots. So you go hit like 3 of them in one night and make you little $300. So I remember it was one night was me, Kevin Hart, Teray Gordon, this guy named Buck, 4 of us driving to New York to go do a show. And this guy named Buck. Buck is like the most illegal guy ever. Don't get in this guy's car. Don't take no. If you get money from him, it's counterfeit. If you got a watch from him, it's fake. This guy, the only thing real about him, even his mom is probably not his real mother. That's how fake this guy is. Buck is just fake. And we around New York, and we all met at one place. We all met at this one particular club. We said, okay, we all gonna hop in one car. We decided to take Buck's car because his car was newer. He had like a little Nissan Maximum, couple of 3 years old maybe. I had a Ford Taurus. I didn't want to put the miles in my car. I'm not sure what Cav had. Cav probably caught the bus up there. And then Teray, I'm not sure what Teray drove. Big long story short, we in Buck's car driving on the turnpike, going from Philly to New York. I'm the one driving this idiot's car. All of a sudden, state troopers behind us. I'm like, why this guy behind us? Get to find out, Buck had a license plate that belonged to another car. So what happened back in the day, I'm not sure what happened in the West Coast, but in Philly, back in the 90s, whenever you get a lot of tickets in your car, like you just got a ticket today, when you get like 3, 4 of them, they try to tow your car. So what you do is you report your license plate stolen, so they think that it's not yours, and then you just get a new plate. So the plate that he had on his car was a plate that somebody must have had a lot of tickets on, reported stolen. He just needed a plate on his car. He threw that plate on his car. Now the state trooper thing is a stolen property. They pull us up, get out of the car, pull the guns out on us. Because when you read the license plate, it reports stolen property. So they think the whole car is stolen. We some criminals. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, get out the car, driver, turn left. I don't know what to do. I'm like, they're like, man, you gonna get shot. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. I've never been through this before. Big long story short, we all get locked up. 4 of us got locked up, missed the show, right? Missed the show. And the day that I had to come back, we was in there not long, 8, 10 hours was locked up for. Let us all go. The day I was supposed to come to my audition, it was the day I had to go to court in Newark, New Jersey. So I remember me and Kevin Hart was the only one that decided to go to court. The rest of the motherfuckers were like, fuck the court. So we rented a car, drove to Newark. This happened in Newark, New Jersey. Went to court, got out there in time, cab drove me back to Philly airport. I hopped in my flight, landed like 4 p.m., made a 5 p.m. audition. With all that shit going on in my head, I went up there and I killed the audition. And I later found out who was auditioning for that. I heard my boy Denny Green, Shang, I forgot who else auditioned for that particular role that I had got.
Well, a few people did.
A few people did, and it changed my life.
Now, you do this scene, it's huge. Did you make up those lines, or were they kind of already in the script?
Oh no, the only thing that was in the script was I can't get jiggy with this shit. Everything else in that script we made up. Me and Mike Epps at that time, we've known each other for about more than that. We started like 93. We knew about 6 years. We knew each other about 6 years at that time. So the chemistry was there. So we just went at it hard, back and forth. And the thing about it, after the movie was shot, they had a screening for the actors and the directors. I looked at them like, nigga, we did funnier things than that. That's how, but when the movie goes into the editing room, it's a total stranger in there, don't know. He just trying to find the best angles and the best this and the best that, and he missed out on so much. Because I'm telling you right now, if I could get a hold of the original tape, I'm like, it's so much more funny things than me and Mike did. But I didn't like what I saw. In fact, I didn't start feeling good about it till when the movie came out. I put a hat on, sneak into the movie, go into the movie theater in my hometown, watch people watch it. And as soon as I pop on the screen and start talking, they start going crazy. And that's when I started liking it. I'm like, okay, they like it. And that's when I started to like it.
Okay. Now, a while ago, the thing came out where people were kind of blaming Ice Cube for the actors not getting paid enough. Mm-hmm. How did you feel when you seen all that?
Yeah, I didn't like that. Especially, guys that have made it, and they know the grind, how, look, I just saw a post the other day where Drake opened up for Ice Cube. Did you see that?
I did, for $100.
$100. You know what I'm saying? So, it's part of the grind. And at the end of the day, it's not even like up to Cube and this and that. The movie has a budget. Movies like any other job. They have a SAG rate. They have a minimum wage rate. When you're new, it's a minimum wage. When I did that movie, my $800 a day. I did overtime, so I got paid $1,200. That's for working. And then when the movie comes out, depending on how much you make, depending on how big your role is, you'll get a little check here and there. I probably, and then after it goes to DVD, then get a little check here and there, and so forth and so forth. Unless you are the star, if you have demanding power, then you could go and be like, okay, just like, they're having a sequel. If Chris Tucker wanted to do it, be like, okay, I need this amount of money. And then be like, you want Chris Tucker, you got to pay him. Then the movie got to go up on the budget, because the guy that everybody wants to see wants more money. Then it becomes, negotiation. If it's could happen, could happen. If it can happen, then it can happen. But he has no control over that.
How do you feel about the problems about not being able to get the Last Friday done? Yeah,
it bothers me, man.
You definitely gotta be.
Oh no, me and Cube talk. I already knew about the script. Okay. I knew my role already. I can discuss it because we could hopefully still make this thing happen. And he's, I don't know the whole thing behind New Line or Warner Brothers. I have no idea what that's all about. And I'm just an actor, comedian, just trying to give our audience what the fuck they've been asking for whatever, 20 years.
A long time.
Very long time. So it's trust me, if it was up to Cube, we would have been got this done. Look how long, when we talked about it, when me and Cube talked about it, at least 3 of these people were still alive that were supposed to be in the movie.
I know, man. Now, those, Debo passed away.
Debo, Pops, and he's out.
John
they were all alive. Can you imagine who they got this thing done? And right before, I was actually on a flight with John Witherspoon. We took a flight from Dallas to LA, and we was talking about the movie, and we're excited about it. We're gonna make it happen, and then boom, a few months later, he was gone.
Man.
But we'll see what happens. Hopefully they could figure this out, because Cube really wants to do this, man, for the culture. You gotta do it for the culture.
I know we need it, man. We need it. Cube, get on him, man. How did you feel about the whole Will Smith slap controversy and everything?
Yeah, I didn't like that, man. I didn't, and I love Will Smith. He's from my hometown where I was raised. But, when he smacked, I feel like when he smacked Chris Rock, I feel like he smacked every comedian. Because I'm the comedian that goes hard in the pain, and I don't want nobody to come and slap me because of what I said, And
I didn't even feel like the joke was that serious.
It was not that serious. I think, the only thing I could think of is like maybe it was just a build up, But still, at the end of the day, man, we have to be strong enough and tough enough to hold our composure and find other ways to deal with it besides violence. And I'm sure he regretted it to today. He regrets it to today. I'm sure if he had a chance to take that back, he'll probably pay $50 million to take that whole thing back. I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully, we'll get over it one day. But it's been tough. And and the thing, I love him, but I roast him every time on stage, man. Every time I go on stage, Will Smith gets it because
Will Smith gets it now.
Oh, he gets it. The reason why, because after him, there's somebody else jump on stage with Dave Chappelle. I had a couple of almost incidents where people try to come on stage, So it's like, I think he opened up this can of whoop ass.
Oh, okay. I mean, Chris Rock, plus his, ticket sales went through the roof.
It did go through the roof. In fact, I'm going to just go to the next Oscar. I'm going to grab the mic and curse everybody wife out. Hey, Steven Spielberg, your wife got a cock-eye, mother sucker. Come slap me, please. I need my tickets to sell.
Someone's going to get mad eventually. Man, I seen, you had like a little thing with Ben Simmons or something, or he was trying to hit on your fiance or your girlfriend at the time?
Yeah, she was my fiance. Ben's a sucker for that. Yeah, he know that. He a sucker, man. The thing about it, if he would have even, when she first mentioned it, I thought like,
Well, how'd you, you and Ben meet and everything?
I met him when he came to my city. Philly is where I'm like, Philly's home. I'm like, it's like 4 celebrities in Philly. I'm one of them, motherfucker. So he came to my hometown. He was drafted by Philly. I met him when he was a rookie, when he was actually hanging on South Street, going to a store. That's when we met for the first time, his rookie year. We exchanged a couple of words. And at that moment, my Sixers stunk. Because when he saw me, first thing he was like, hey, Mike, tell me a joke. I said, the Sixers. That's how bad they are. These guys were losing in practice at that moment. You ever lost in practice? That's bad. We lose in practice. So, and that's how we started to become friends. We exchanged numbers and we kept in touch. And then we'll go to Eagles game together. We'll hang out. Sometimes most of the summer he come to LA. We'll hang out. Even times he's been time where I'll post a lot of girls on my page. He'd be like, oh Mike, that girl's fine. Hook me up, and I hook him up with some chicks a couple of times. And I don't know what made him think he could just because you think you got so much money, you think that you could just, then next thing you know, you could try to holler at my girl. I'm like, of all these women in the world, you try to holler but you think you're that untouchable? Like, you might have fans that kiss your ass, but I don't kiss no ass. I'm gonna light your ass up. And she snitched on his ass. And the thing about she tried to let it go, but he got thirsty a few times.
How'd you find out? She
snitched on him. Yeah, she snitched. She said the first time it happened. So it was during Super Bowl week. The Sixers were playing Miami. It was a weekend Super Bowl when the Chiefs played 49ers. We went to Miami that weekend, and I remember the Heat was playing. Sixers was playing the Heat, and I remember I went to the game. And after the game, they got the ass kicked that game. Like, they got the ass whooped bad. We had everybody. We had MB, we had Harris. I didn't know what happened. But the Miami Heat whooped their ass. So after the game, I remember we was talking. At that moment, he was dating one of the Kardashian girls, the Jenner, whatever. The Kylie or whatever.
Is it Kendall?
Whatever their name is. I don't know their names. One of them. Because she was there. And she remembered me because she's actually been to a show before at the Laugh Factory where and I roast. I had a lot of jokes on her sister and the whole family. So she remembered me. But I remember, I had my lady with me and he was with his girl and I introduced my girl to him. Hey, this is my fiance. This first time he officially introduced, here's my fiance, Rada. He said, oh, this is my girl, whatever her name was. And then when we left, after we left, she was like, Mike, I think that guy was in my DM. I'm like, man, nigga wasn't on your DM, man. I see Ben see me post a lot of chicks. He just think he just one of them chicks, But then he knew, and then weeks later, he's still back in her DM. You know what I mean? That's what I'm like.
So now you know.
And I know, now you been. And then then he tried to use. Because he knew that she's a real estate agent, so he tried to act like he's trying to buy a house in Arizona. So he trying to use her to she didn't even bite on that. That's what she told. And I'm like, I lost all respect for him. He's a snake. Can't trust a light-skinned nigga.
Man, is that something that commonly happens in entertainment, do you think?
You know, maybe passing the women on to other people, break up with one person, that person with this person, I find it to be very disgusting. Me personally, I do not want to fuck nobody that my friends fuck, because I know how my friends fucks. That's some fucked up shit, right? I don't want nothing my homies want. Or hitting, like so many other women out there, like, but you know, these niggas think it's in a Scarface. You know, I'm kill you and take your wife. I mean, I don't roll like that. You know, any one of my homies' girls automatically become my sister. Automatically. I don't give a how bad she is. That's a no.
Yeah, I hear that, man. It seems pretty dirty, especially because you guys kind of knew each other. You know?
Yeah, they don't try. Then he tried to sugarcoat because she was like, "He's not your friend." He was like, "Well, we ain't that much friends for some pussy nigga." Yeah, man. That shit story's so old. He's such.
But he got traded anyway, right?
He got traded and he sucked. He hasn't won a game since. Nothing good has happened to him in NBA since that happened. He didn't play a whole season. He had 5 points and played 25 minutes. His first game of the season, he had 5 points. The Village Voodoo is working on his ass.
Well, you know, I seen you've been on Wild and Out
Yeah.
a bunch of times, man. How did all that come together?
Man, it's the funny thing about it when Wild 'N Out when they first putting it together in 2005, I auditioned, right? I auditioned for it and I didn't make it. I wasn't quick enough, wasn't good enough, you know? And I said to myself, it's okay. You know, and at that moment, you know, when they eventually casted the show and 2-3 years later the show's going on, the cast members were making like $1,000 an episode, something like that, right? And I said to myself, it's okay. One day y'all gonna pay me to be on this show. You're gonna pay me some real money, you know? And I just, you know, I didn't make it, it didn't bother me. And then I just went on a social media craze and just became just started entertaining on social media. I went hard and everything I was doing, I was going hard. From my YouTube shows to like my Twitter, my IG, it's lit. Everybody was just fucking with Michael Blackson. And then now I ain't got audition anymore. Now I hate Mike, he can come be a guest on the show. So now we're gonna fast forward to like, 2009, 10. 2009, I'm like hot on social media. I'm doing my thing, and so now I ain't got audition. Now Mike come and be a guest on the show, you know. And I went on the show, first show, killed it. Nick's like, Mike, can you do a couple more episodes? I'll be like, okay, killed it. I went from doing one episode to like 4 or 5, you know. And then the following season, they brought me back, do like another 4 or 5, you know. But I mean, I'm saying that because, you know, as long as you believe in yourself, whatever's meant for you is gonna come, you know. And when they had me on the show, they had to pay me like 7-8 times what they're paying everybody else per show. That's what I asked for. You know, so now I'm like, you know, hey, if I was doing this show for fucking 5 seasons, I made more doing 3 seasons than y'all made, you know, whatever. So, but it been fun. That show's a hell of a show that Nick Cannon put together. Not only that he hired, I can't remember no show where one guy hired that many people at one time. You know, made all a bunch of stars. I mean, he made DC Young Flower superstar, you know, Conceited and Chico Bean, you know, Carlos Miller, you know, Rip Michaels. All those guys all became instant stars because that show is like a hit. I love it. Every chance I get it, when they call me, I'm on there. I just did 3 more episodes, should be coming out soon, you know. But yeah, I went from auditioning that show to being called to be on the show. So it's a good feeling.
Man, that's what's up, man. Yeah, that show's definitely been like influential, man. As far as like new comedians and everybody coming out, man, it's been crazy to kind of see that, man. How do the roasts? You know, do you guys practice the roast like before?
Hell
or is
no,
it kinda
man.
Off the head?
Nah, them things off the head. I mean, the only thing you could probably ask for is to like have an idea of who's on the other team. You know, if I'm going to do something like that, who's on the other team? Let me think of something. You know, that's the only thing you could do. You know what I mean? And that way, I mean, if you're going to write a rhyme, that might help. you know. But that's probably it. It's good to know who's on the other side, because sometimes it could be really difficult trying to like right there in that moment. You at least want to have an idea who it is. So when you get on set, you be like, okay, it's 5 people on this team. Let me just pick 2, 3 of them, you know, and clown.
Yeah, because I know you don't use a beat.
I don't use a beat because I'm not a rapper, you know. And if I could rap, I wouldn't rap off the beat. I always go a cappella. So I'm not good with rapping off the beat. But I'm a comedian, and I know what my fans want to see. They want to see me just light motherfuckers up. And I like
Either way, they want to see you making jokes on people.
They just want to hear some jokes, man.
I think everybody's kind of interested in your whole side chick and the dynamics that you have with your fiance and everything, man. You know, can you kind of tell them a little bit about, like, you know, how you guys met and, you know what I'm saying, how everything evolved to what it is?
Well, the whole side chick, it came from, like, you know, when I met her, I was single, you know, and I was having a good time being single. I didn't want to stop banging more than one chick, you know, and I was like, hey, you know. But then, you know, we fell in love, and I'm like, you know, I love you, but I won't be lying to you, but occasionally I like to, you know, be free, you know. And she's like, okay, Mike, that's what's gonna take to make you happy, you know. Once a month you could be free. Just be careful or do this, keep it respectful, whatever. And, you know, just trying to keep my end of the bargain. That's all.
Is it tough to keep it to just once a month?
It's tough, you know, but I tried.
Okay. How'd you guys meet?
We met in Vegas through a mutual friend. When I met her, it was more like on some chill stuff. It wasn't even like, not even chill, more like some cool, you know. I didn't think she was interested in me. She probably thought I didn't think the same of her. And then, yeah, like I said, when we met, we wasn't like, I wasn't trying to get with her. It was just more like I was introduced to a friend. She's good friends with Lil Jon, and he's also my friend. And then I remember I went to Vegas for a meeting, and I ran into him at the airport, and he told me he's hosting a party. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna come fuck with you after my meeting. And I went to the party, she was there too, and he introduced us. And then we were just cool. But I knew she lived in Phoenix or Arizona somewhere. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be there, you know, like 3 weeks to do a show. She said, when you come, you know, hit me up. So I hit her up. In fact, when I even went to Phoenix, I wasn't even trying to holler at her, because when I went there with a whole chick. You know, and then and when we saw each other the second time, which is something was there, and we just connected later on.
And I see you proposed to her.
Yes.
That's crazy. Was that like a, you know, big deal? Of course it was a big deal because you're getting, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, coming from, you know, the lifestyle and, you know, being with a lot of women and everything.
Yeah, man. You know, because she's a wonderful woman. Very, you know, she's genuine, got a pure heart. And it's very hard to meet that when you are in the entertainment business. It's hard to meet genuine people that don't want nothing from you, just want your love. You know, and that's what I saw that in her, and I haven't seen that in a long time. You know, that's why, you know, made me take that next step.
Okay. Well, man, I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me.
I know you guys got to get going, man. You know, you know, man, love what you're doing, man. Looking forward to more of it, man.
Appreciate it, man. I love you, mother suckers.
Yes, man.
Appreciate you.
For sure.
All right.